Hello, how are you? I'm Betty Lascano, and today I bring you a new video of a hair color that has been requested a lot. I want to tell you that to achieve this tone as you will see it, you need to have the correct base. This is extremely crucial for the colors to come out firm and beautiful. Some tones are applied on bases that are too dark or too light, which do not match the lightening background of the color you want. So in this video, I'm going to explain the lightening background you need to have for this tone to come out perfect. Let's not waste any more time and get started with this tutorial. This is definitely the right base to achieve these tones and make them last and effectively. When you apply a tone like the one we are going to apply right now, or a lighter one, or in red, if you apply it on very light bases, the color will quickly fade and won't have the intensity you need. If you apply this particular tone on dark brown or black hair, you will only see a slight reflection, which might be more noticeable under certain lighting conditions or when viewed from specific angles. Remember that it is very important to apply the colors on the correct lightening base so that the color stays and looks its best. We are going to carefully and thoroughly apply this color. I also want you to notice that this model has some slight highlights, and these will turn out a bit lighter but will give a lot of brightness to this coloration. For this formula, I will use approximately 90 ml of 20 volume developer and a tube of number 200, which is also from Revlon. See how the tone looks. We are going to mix the formula well, making sure there are no lumps. It is very important that the formula is well mixed so that the color comes out even. We are going to start the application from the back. You will take thin strands and saturate them perfectly well. This is a shade that honestly looks very pretty. I like it a lot because it adds a lot of color to the skin. It's definitely a color that you can absolutely apply to any skin tone. Right now this color is trending, so girls who want to show off a new hair color, I invite you to try this one. Remember that these shades also fade quickly, so it's important to wash your hair every third day and use appropriate treatments to prevent the color from fading too fast. There are products in pharmacies and supermarkets that, I don't know if you've noticed, you apply a color to your hair and it looks very nice, but the color fades quickly. This is because the products you're using have too much detergent or lye. When you dye your hair, it's important to keep in mind that you need to change your care habits, such as including your shampoo and conditioner treatment, to ensure that your hair remains vibrant and the color lasts longer. Please remember that if you have any questions, you can ask them at any time below the video in the comments section. Maybe I don't respond as quickly as you would like at the moment, but I do answer all the questions. There is another very important thing, which is that I usually respond with a video because it is easier for you to observe the procedure and thus clarify your doubts rather than explaining it, because there are many followers who do not have knowledge of color and there are terms they do not understand because they are unfamiliar with them. If they watch the video, it becomes clearer to them. The touch-ups for this color will be done as if it were a regular dye. Remember that you can mix this dye with peroxide of 20, 30, or even 40 volumes, such as. It is very important for you to know that if you did the first application with 20 volumes, the following applications must also be with 20 volumes. If they did it with 30 volumes, the next application should be with 30 volumes. Why do some people tell me, Betty, I have darker hair from mid-length to ends and I want to lighten it more? Can I apply 30 or 40 volumes? If you apply 30 or 40 volumes to the hair, that has been previously treated with a volume of 20, the new hair growth will appear lighter in color while the rest of the hair will remain darker. So be extremely careful. Always remember the amount you used in your formula the first time, because that's when the roots start to get lighter and the mid-lengths darker. And to correct a color like that, you have to do a color extraction afterwards, which is a more careful and delicate procedure. I want you to see that I saturate perfectly well. With this, I will achieve a very uniform coloration so that you don't stain the clients. I recommend that when you do the application, you place the hair the way I am placing it, because there are people who apply black, brown, or very red dyes and the clients end up all stained, or you yourself, Betty, if you do the application, end up all stained. I recommend that you start moving the hair back carefully and gently in order to avoid the risk of staining the forehead. Just like this video tutorial, you will find countless others on this channel, so I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell so you can learn with me. On this side, I made a new formula because I ran out. That's why you see it a bit lighter. After a while, it starts to oxidize and takes on the tone of the previous side. Remember, it is very important that when applying fantasy dyes or dark dyes, you do it the way I am doing it to avoid staining the client's skin. Sometimes I get asked about the dye formulas, Sos Eos, from many different brands. Always remember that each and every company or manufacturer has its own unique formula for mixing various colors. When you have doubts about how to make the formula, it is specified inside the dye, or sometimes there is also a note inside the dye explaining how to make the formula, because there are brands that I am not familiar with. That's why I always tell you to carefully verify inside the dye box to see how much peroxide and how much dye you need to mix to get the correct shade. Another question I get asked very frequently is exactly how much product is typically needed for long hair and for short hair. That varies because there are people who have short hair but have a lot of hair. As you continue with your applications, you will start to realize the amount you need to apply the dye, which is quite substantial and important. The processing time we will give to this coloring can range from 15 minutes to 40, depending on the intensity of the color you want to achieve. If you are going to do a touch-up with this shade, you need to leave it on the roots for 35 minutes, then dampen the ends and apply the formula from mid-lengths to ends with 10 volumes and leave it on for an additional 10 minutes for the touch-up. The processing time we gave this model was approximately 35 minutes. It's time to remove the color, and we will first get rid of a bit more of the excess dye. We will remove it with moderately warm water because hot water makes the color fade faster. If you have these types of colors in your hair, do not use hot water because it will make the color fade faster. We are going to use a retention shampoo. This shampoo helps the color last longer. Next, we apply the color protection mask to seal it. To finish, I am going to apply a hydrating serum to make my hair shinier and more manageable. This is the result of the coloring. If you observe, it is very easy to do, but for the color to have this firm finish and such a defined tone, it is very important, I repeat, that you apply it on the appropriate lightening base. Thank you, family, for joining me in this video. Remember that it is important to have the base lightening to achieve a perfect result. So family, I ask you to write me your comments. I send you a big hug and many blessings.